Robert Barclay, and I'm a professor in the Department of Biological Sciences here at the University of Calgary. And I got started, I guess, as an undergraduate student at Trent University in Ontario. Very small, at the time, strictly undergraduate university. I think there were 2,000 students in the whole university. So a very different experience than large universities like University of Calgary. I had the opportunity of doing an undergraduate honors project, which involved both fieldwork and lab work, and I discovered I really liked doing research. So I applied to a number of faculty members at different universities to do a master's degree. I wanted to study mammals for some unknown reason, ecology and behavior, and eventually I accepted a master's program at Carleton University in Ottawa to study the behavior of bats, knowing absolutely nothing about bats. So it was walking into a bit of a mystery, but as soon as I started studying them in the field, I said, okay, this is cool stuff. As I was finishing my master's, I thought, what am I going to do next? I might as well apply for a scholarship to do a PhD. I don't really know if I want to do one. I was offered a scholarship, so I said, okay, I guess I'm going to do a PhD. I continued at Carleton for my PhD, also studying bat ecology and behavior. And once I graduated from that, I got a position as the resident biologist at the University of Manitoba Field Station in the middle of nowhere, just north of Portage-la Prairie, Mosquito Haven. But it was a fabulous introduction to all three areas that university and college faculty have to be good at, and that was teaching, research, and administration. I got to teach some field courses, I got to carry out my own research, and I did some administration of the field station. And we were all set to move into Winnipeg, where the University of Manitoba is, and I would take up a regular faculty position when I was offered the position here at Calgary in Department of Biological Sciences. And so we moved to Calgary, and I've been here ever since. I teach a variety of courses, both in the core courses, the first and second year courses, as well as in both the ecology and the zoology programs. So last couple of years I've been teaching part of Biology 241, our first introductory biology course in the first year, and I teach the individual organism to ecosystem section of that course. I also taught this year for the first time in many years part of the Biology 313 Introduction to Ecology course, and more regularly I teach every 2 years a 500 level course on mammals. That's Zoology 577, and it looks at all aspects of mammals, their physiology, behavior, ecology, conservation. I've also taught in Biology 451, the conservation biology course, an animal behavior course, which unfortunately doesn't exist anymore, as well as the ecology of individuals, Ecology 429, which looks at behavioral ecology, physiological ecology, and life history ecology. I became a professor somewhat by accident. I applied for a variety of jobs as I was finishing off my PhD. Got offered, as I mentioned, a position as resident biologist at the field station, and discovered that I love the combination of teaching and research. And then when that position was ending, I looked for an academic position where I could take up both of those things that I absolutely love doing. My dream job, I'm in it. And I mean that literally. It's fabulous to interact with really smart students, colleagues, collaborators, both students at the undergraduate level and the graduate level, really stimulating. And on the research side, having them work alongside me or leading the research that we do is also fabulous. And so for certain people, and I'm one of them, this is a dream job. I'd have to say my biggest academic accomplishment is not screwing up the careers of various students who've gone through my lab. As I mentioned, I've been able to interact with some really great students at the undergraduate and graduate levels, and they've gone off and done fabulous things. Some are academics like me, others work in government or industry, consulting, and they've all done amazing things, and I'm really proud of those students, and I guess I did a reasonable job. I was not the best student as an undergraduate. My first year in university, I took 5 courses, and I got 1 of each letter grade, and they didn't have pluses and minuses at the university I went to. So, no, I didn't get an F. I got a D in statistics. So it was ironic when I interviewed for the job here at Calgary, and they said, of course you could teach a statistics course, and I said, oh yes, absolutely. And I did have to teach a statistics course the first year I was here. That was a challenge. After first year as an undergraduate, I learned how to be an undergraduate, sort of a typical undergraduate transcript. Not so great first year, got better in second and third year as I learned how to study. Attending classes was important, taking good notes was important. I think I asked lots of questions, so that part I think I did the right things, but I wasn't the top of the class. Several of my colleagues and I have chatted about students and classes now compared to even a few years ago. And one of the things we don't like, and I don't like, is students seem much more reluctant to engage the instructor, to ask questions or answer questions. The classes, even small ones, seem much quieter because there isn't the interchange between the person presenting information and asking questions and the audience, the students. So I encourage students to be interactive, ask questions, answer questions, get in discussions. It really helps the learning process. When I'm not sciencing, I sort of combine sciencing with other activities. We've always done a lot of camping here in Canada as well as away from Canada. I take a lot of photographs. Some of them turn out and most of them don't. Used to curl. I still cross-country ski. I do a little bit of running. Try to keep active. But in particular, like being outdoors in the wilds, whether it's around Calgary or other parts of Canada or overseas. Craziest thing I've ever done, working in the field, doing the sort of research that my students and I do at night, because the animals that we study, primarily bats, are active at night. You get into some situations that are pretty crazy. And one example, with colleagues in South Africa, I was studying a species of bats that lives in caves down along the south coast of South Africa. And this one cave you had to get into by climbing down a rope ladder past a hive of Africanized honeybees, African honeybees, not the nicest animals in the world. And you got down to the bottom, and then there was a shaft about yay big that you had to crawl through, hoping that the baboon troop weren't in there for the night as a safe place to stay. First time I did that, I thought, this is pretty crazy. Favorite TV show? just for pure entertainment. I like The Big Bang Theory. It's science for non-scientists, and there's a lot of in-jokes in it that scientists get, probably a lot of the audience doesn't. And then movie-wise or documentary-wise, basically anything David Attenborough has done. No matter where he goes or what the topic is, it's always fascinating to see biology in action, whether it's under the ocean or on top of a mountain. And he does such a great job narrating. So Blue Planet or any of the other things that Attenborough has done would be my favorite. Favorite junk food? I like ice cream. I have a little bowl of ice cream most nights, especially if it has some chocolate in it. And so chocolate's another favorite. Things I can't live without, obviously oxygen and water and food, but beyond that, family. Have 2 great kids and a wonderful wife, travel companions, and support network when things don't go well. Great friends and colleagues here at the university, in the department, and in the Faculty of Science and the university in general. And the ability to get outdoors and experience cool biology, whether it's in our backyard or on Nose Hill or in exotic places. Having the ability to travel and get outdoors is something that I find hard to give up. On average, I get about 7 hours of sleep a night. I seem to be able to do reasonably well with that. Like students, around exam time, it's a little less than that. Students at all levels hopefully take away from the classes that I'm involved in and others that biology, whether it's at the molecular level or the ecosystem level, is very complicated, but that makes it fascinating. It makes it fun. It makes it hard to interpret sometimes. But it also makes it incredibly important for everybody, not just scientists, not just for biologists, but every citizen of the planet to understand certain aspects of biology at even a basic level. And if everybody had that basic scientific understanding, I think we'd all be a lot better off. I encourage all undergraduate students to try doing some of their own research, whether that's what they think they want to go on and do after they finish their degree or not. And there are a number of ways to get involved. Some of the courses obviously have a research component, whether it's individual or as a team. Find out whether you like doing that sort of stuff. Get into a research course, a 507 course, a 1 semester course, or 528, or the honors project, 530. Get involved with doing lab or field work or a combination with a supervisor in those courses, and you'll discover whether, like me, you suddenly said, yeah, research is cool, I want to do that. Or, no, research isn't for me, I'm going to go and do something else with my degree. And there are numerous opportunities with a bio-sci degree or one of the specialized degrees. You can also get research experience doing field courses at the University of Calgary field stations out in Kananaskis, at Banfield out on Vancouver Island looking at marine questions, or a studies abroad course. Various courses go to different parts of the world. You get involved in research, you learn a little bit about how other parts of the world are, and the people there are concerned with conservation of different aspects. All of those sort of opportunities, if you can grab them, I encourage students to do that.